You look beautiful, Sophia.
Thank you. Sounding Board with Sophia and Christoph. I like the name.
Yeah, brand new. First time we're doing this
Yeah.
live. I mean, we kind of have a continuous sounding board whenever we're having a meal together or when we drive somewhere together. But this is like the first time that we actually record it and have it on Zoom in the same
Yeah.
house, me upstairs, you downstairs.
Yes. I think the idea behind this is to basically share and document our journey as we build our businesses, our newsletters, our online presence. Basically, whatever we are finding and learning, a lot of that is just something we share or we implement. But what if we record this and share this? The idea was it could potentially be of benefit to the listener. So if you're joining us and listening, welcome. Super excited that you're here for the first sounding board with Sophia and Christoph. And we don't have any structure, but generally we want to share what we have learned, what we are doing, basically be a sounding board to each other. So if there's anything that we are struggling with or have a question that we want to discuss, we are going to do that.
Yes.
So
What do you want to talk about, Sophia?
I want to talk about this week actually is very special because I am
But
launching.
just quickly, audio wise, is there an echo? Like, do you hear an echo from, is it
No,
bleeding what you're saying into my microphone?
I don't hear you. I don't hear
Okay,
myself. I
good.
hear you, but I don't hear myself.
All right. Then, sorry.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
fine. It's fine. So I am super excited this week because I'm launching a brand new newsletter, SophiaNotes, and it's launching
Yay.
on May 8th. Woo woo! It's special because I want to make this newsletter a lot, again, with this whole idea of not just teaching and sharing what I know. So far, my newsletters have been my articles or my tutorials or things that I have created, but also be a curation of things that I have discovered from other creators, tools, technology, apps, strategies, even conversations that I've heard on, podcasts and YouTube interviews, things that I'm processing and learning, just sharing it so that others can also go and explore these ideas. So that's what's making SophiaNotes special and different from anything I've done before. I've been writing newsletters since 2009, not necessarily consistently, but I have had a newsletter
Yeah.
since, yeah, so many years. So that's
So
what I'm,
you're going live this week with the first episode, from what I know. And
yes.
what is something you still need to figure out?
Um, Basically, I need to figure out whether I'm going to implement everything that I know is possible already in the first edition. So I have got the content ideas for what content I will be including. And I'm using a new platform. I'm using beehiiv, which I'm super excited for. And they
Why are
have,
you using that?
why I'm using that, it has, oh, that's a whole other conversation.
Okay, we'll put a pin on that then.
Yeah, maybe next week we can deep dive on that. But in essence, I really like beehiiv because it's really built for newsletter growth and for newsletter operators to uh, share content. It's a content creators platform, I would say. Not just content creators, also lots of big firms are using it. Um, and the thing that I'm figuring out whether I should already implement the referral thing. beehiiv has a way to encourage your own readers to share your newsletter, and that's something technical. I don't know yet how to do it or what is entailed in it. I haven't even explored it. So that's one thing. And the second thing is whether I already want to start doing boosts and other kind of, I think I'm not going to do that. It's just too much already. Today is Monday, it's launching on Wednesday. I'm going to keep it simple. And also I have to learn to grow bit by bit and evolve bit by bit instead of going full with everything I know.
So Boost is that feature where you pay, and or what is the Boost
Yes, I
feature?
think that's what it's called. There's so many new terms I'm still figuring out, but boosts, I believe, is the term for having your newsletter be promoted by other newsletters.
Okay,
I have to
it's
double
kind of
check.
like
But
paid
there's a feature
ads,
that does
but
that. Yeah,
specifically for like newsletter writers to promote other people's newsletters.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And vice versa, to also promote other newsletters in my newsletter. That's also a revenue generating option. But again, I think my learning here is not to overwhelm myself with all the possibilities because I know all of the things that exist, but just making the first edition, it can be simple, it can be straightforward. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles that I know I can implement. I even came up with sections and segments for my newsletter I have 19 segments.
Wow.
Potentially. I'm not going to have all of them in the newsletter, but I just wrote down the template. Actually, I don't know if you're interested. I can show you.
Yeah.
Interested?
Maybe you can
I made a template basically.
Great.
And it's a Notion.
Love Notion.
Yeah, I just love it. And this is my template for my newsletter. And as you can see, all these colored sections are the different segments, and there are just way too many. I don't want to have all of them. It's just too overwhelming for the reader as well. I'm going to have a few main ones and then switch out other sections. And these are right now just instructions on what these segments are going to be about.
So
So
which one are like the key ones that you would tend to have every single time? Is that
yeah.
like 10 of those 19, or is it one?
More like 5. I want to keep 5 at least. So some of them are just kind of functional segments, like this is introduction, where I will hint on what's in the newsletter. And an announcement is going to be optional, so it may not be in the first one, where I will share something about something upcoming in my business, an event, a resource, something I've written. So I want to have the intro section, the quotes. I love quotes. They're just so powerful. So I want to have at least one quote per newsletter. Creator notes is going to be the section where I write an article about growing. Basically, the goal of the newsletter is to help people start and grow their side hustle and online business with peace of mind and financial freedom as the main goals. So not building something at all costs, but building something sustainably that also takes care of your well-being and builds financial freedom. So there's going to be one article in that category. Then I will have one category called Tech Notes, where I will share some curated tools. And then Zen Notes, which is a 10-second to a minute long clip. It's a very short clip from nature to bring something, fun and relaxing, something of the nature that I go out and make these videos. I love those.
Nice.
And then some functional ones again, like thank you notes, community notes. I'm really excited about. This is where I ask my readers a question and share their knowledge, because our whole newsletter community, people on my email list are smart, bright entrepreneurs, online business owners. They have so much wealth of knowledge too. So I will want to kind of unearth that wisdom from them. And then as a thank you, feature their business and feature their answers, like 1 or 2 per newsletter.
That's the community notes, right?
It's community notes, yeah. And then asking them a poll, whether they liked it, what this edition, and then finally how they can work with me. I wanted to have 3 of them, but I think over lunch we just discussed that I'll just have 2 for the moment. Join the Zen Business Club, and then ask a question that's supposed to be like an hour-long coaching that somebody can hire me for. But I'm not going to offer that right now. And
Just
then,
those 2 then, no?
yeah, and sponsor the newsletter. I don't want to offer that right now because I'm already doing one-to-one services. I don't want to add more things that are one-to-one.
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind this newsletter, right? Is to start or to
Yeah.
grow your leverage, the leverage side of your business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. To grow my leverage side of the business and create, this is like my side hustle to my main hustle. So
I noted down 8 segments that you want to start with.
yeah,
Intro, creator notes, tech notes, Zen notes, thank you notes, community notes, poll, and work
yeah,
with me.
yeah. I can remove 1 or 2 of them. But there's also fun notes. There's opportunity notes. I mean, there's so many different ideas that I have. So
Right. So
maybe
tell
I'll
me which ones you feel most important. Which ones would be LVP,
consistent.
least viable product, for your first edition?
I would say, forget it, the intro section. I'm not counting that. I would
Oh,
say,
you're not counting that. Okay. Good.
yeah, because, okay, if you want to technically count it, it's not really like content. It's just a summary of the content.
Okay.
So I would say quote notes, creator notes,
Oh,
and
quote notes, I forgot earlier. Okay, yeah.
either karma notes or tech notes, one of the 2. Zen, oh my God, there's so many sections I can't say no to. Zen notes I want to have. And then thank you notes, community notes. How did you like this? Yeah, maybe 6 or 7, but not all of them will be too big. They'll be short, you know.
So I have 9 now.
Okay, so we'll do 9.
So you want to like drill those down, like, decide.
What I'll do is I will write the content for these ones and then see how it looks visually on a mobile or on desktop. And if it's like a really long scroll, I will reduce some sections. But let me give it a first try and
Okay.
then go deeper.
Yesterday we listened to a podcast by professional newsletter creators. I don't recall their names right now, but
Yeah, these are the guys from newsletteroperator.com.
newsletter, okay. And they mentioned something like that they like numbering the segments.
Yeah.
Probably to be able to refer to it more easily in the content summary, in the intro. Is that something you're planning to?
No,
I know you like to number things, so.
I do like to number things, but I'm going to number my newsletter edition, but not the segments inside the newsletter.
Okay.
This will give me the freedom to swap the segments from
Right. To leave somehow in the, yeah, okay.
yeah. And not to be rigid. I've been very rigid in my content creation, like always censoring the kind of stuff I can do, the kind of, like if I'm a ConvertKit expert, I'm only making ConvertKit videos, but what if I'm interested in some other app? Or if I'm a Squarespace designer, I'm only building Squarespace. But what if I'm interested in Webflow or Framer? And so I've always, like, I have tried to follow the idea of niching down. And for me, creatively, it has been suffocating to the extent where I've had weeks and months where I would just not make any content because the ideas that I was getting was for something outside my niche. And then I was not supposed to do that, so no content was made.
Hmm.
And I couldn't force myself to create something in the niche that I was in, right?
Right.
So I'm hyper alert on anything that will box me in or limit the options.
Well, these numbers don't have to be static. They could be different in every edition of the newsletter because
Mhm.
it's, so, okay, number in the intro, you say, okay, first section today is quote notes, and second section today is tech notes. And then
Yeah.
next week you have first section is quote notes, second section is creator notes, and then third section is tech notes. So you don't have to keep
Oh, okay.
you don't have to keep the numbering like fixed every time.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see how it develops. That's a good idea.
Okay. And you
What?
had then asked about the referral system to allow people to get like
Like I asked, so one of the hurdles for me to figure out the referral bit, first of all, the tech in beehiiv. I'm brand new, so I don't even know where to start there. I think it's pretty simple, but have to dive in.
it's an additional thing to figure out
Yeah.
in
And
a short,
second,
until Wednesday morning, basically.
yes.
Yeah.
And the second thing is I wanted to figure out what is a suitable gift or incentive for people to refer my newsletter and how many referrals do they get what. So there's so many decisions to be made, like these tiny decisions. So I just journaled this morning and asked myself, like, what referral gift should I give and at what level? So I think for now, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Have one referral. If somebody makes one referral, they get a shout out, meaning their name, their business link gets shared in my newsletter. I've seen some other
Yeah,
newsletter operators
that's
do
cool.
that, and it's very attractive. The other one was if they have 5 or maybe 10, I'm not sure how many referrals, then they get 1 month free. They can be a guest for 1 month in the Zen Business Club,
Hmm.
which is which is actually an annual thing, but they're bi-monthly events there.
So you seem to be pretty sure about the shout out thing with level 1 referral.
Yeah.
How about just start off with that one and nothing but that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can, if it's figure outable until the newsletter is scheduled to come out on Wednesday.
Schedule
Here I said Wednesday, not Wednesday.
Wednesday. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We are in the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina, so
And I talk a lot to locals here through my volunteering gig, and so I've gotten used to saying Wednesday.
I always tease him
Thursday.
for that because it's Wednesday, Thursday. More importantly, it's my wife and I.
Right or die.
My wife and I, ride or die. Time. I also like how they say time.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
We had like the water heater replacement guy coming, and I asked him like, how long is this heater going to last? And he says, time. The time that it's gonna be running is like human life.
Yeah. I
Unpredictable, basically. Anyways,
yeah. Anyways, I love accents, so
I love
don't, in
accents.
case you're from the South and listening to this, don't feel offended.
We
It's out
love
of
the
love
accent.
and interest
Yeah.
and just curiosity. In
Yeah.
no way it is meant in any form, in any way. Uh,
It's out of love,
yeah,
basically. We
yeah.
are two transplants. This guy from Germany, this girl from New Jersey, India, wherever. So many places I'm from.
Been in the Blue Ridge for 14 years now, right? So
Yeah, it's just adorable.
yeah.
I think it's more Nashville or like Tennessee also.
This Ride or Die, my wife and I, that was a podcast was from Nashville, the money guy. Those are
Yes.
great,
Such a good
great
podcast.
stuff. And yeah.
So what's on
Good.
your mind? Like anything? Are we
So
done with my
yeah,
thing?
can I, my summary for you, just to
Mhm.
quickly wrap up, would
Yeah.
be basically you write all these segments, and then but those are prior one, and then if there's still time available, then you figure out the referral thing.
Yeah.
And if it's figure outable, then you can start with level one one referral and with shout out as a prize.
Yes. I like that.
And I also noted down no segment numbering for now. Maybe you'll figure, maybe
Yeah.
you,
I noted down that add numbers to
yeah,
segments.
but
If and
episode numbering for sure.
edition, not episode.
Edition, it's gone. Oh, I'm sorry.
But one thing I learned about this whole process of building a newsletter, if I may share,
Yeah.
is that there's so much to learn. It was in March that I got the idea to pivot into this kind of a newsletter with lots of curated content. And in April, I said, let me give it a date. May 8th was the date I set. So for the last 1 month, I've been reading articles, listening to podcasts, the Spark Loop people, Send and Grow podcast. I've been, reading the growth, what is it called? The growth newsletter? Growth in Reverse newsletter by Chanel. So much information. What I'm learning is that there's just way too much to learn, even about running a successful newsletter, something so specific that I cannot know everything and understand everything. I mean, this is obvious, but even the idea that I want to do all this research for 1 month and then learn everything I can before I start. Even now I'm learning, like
Yeah.
I read a newsletter this morning and there were like 5 things that were new.
And
So
what we heard yesterday in that podcast, these super experienced newsletter creators, and who even do it for as a service, paid clients, create newsletters for other companies and other creators. They know very well what they're doing and what kind of segments work well and
yes,
everything like that. But they currently have this experiment where they're trying to start a whole new newsletter from scratch without the use of their long
the
lists
existing
of
subscribers.
followership, really just
Yeah.
from scratch, like if like you and me, anyone without a list would start it. And they say, like, especially in terms of traffic generation, interest generation, lead generation, it's a trial and error thing. Like they reported so many different paid ad channels that they're trying out, see which one is suitable, and other things. They're using their company's social media profiles, not their personal ones yet, because they still want to prove that it's possible to start a newsletter, right, without the social media
But they're going to
following.
use their personal as well.
So a lot is trial and error, and I see that right now. I've last week started to place ads for my company and for my newsletter, and yeah, there's a lot to learn and
Yes, and also because
learn from your
sharing,
own experience. Sorry.
yeah, learning from our own experiences is the best teacher, I think. No
Yeah.
matter how much we read and hear people, like we do the same thing that we heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things.
Just this week, for anyone listening who doesn't know, I write a newsletter about exchange traded funds, ETFs, and so far I had 0 conversions on an ad that just advertises my newsletter opt-in. And so today I put out a new article in my blog and my Medium, and so now now I'm actually sending an ad, a paid ad, Google paid ad, directly to that article, which then in turn invites people to get on my newsletter list. And I'll see how that works. And over lunch, I had this other idea that I'm not just doing this new article, run an ad onto this new article, but actually run an ad to an article that I wrote 2 months-ish ago that I know gets actually quite a bit of traffic because it's apparently a hot topic. So yeah,
that's smart, actually, using the data you already have on what articles are popular and run the ad to that.
You think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially since that article you told me was about the best gold ETF
Yeah.
or is gold.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a topic that
And
is
gold is hot right now, right? Everybody talking about gold because it's on new all-time highs and it's been.
So you will attract then those people who are interested in gold and who are interested in ETF at this time, as the so much conversation around it. Yeah, I really like, I don't have much experience with ads, but what I hear is sending people to a content of value in your ad is it's a good way to go about it, instead of like opt into my newsletter right away.
Right.
But there's got to be clear opt-in possibilities in that article too, right?
Yeah, I have two spots in that article.
Yeah.
One kind of just before I go into like after the intro and when kind of diving into the meat of the article, and then one at the very end, like after I sign off, saying like, now get my newsletter.
Yeah. I think also referring to what I wanted to say earlier was the guys on the podcast, when they said that it's an experiment, they were also kind of hinting on how what's working in social media is changing so much. What was working in Twitter, they were saying something like, so something that worked on Twitter 2 years ago is now working on LinkedIn.
But not on Twitter anymore.
But not on Twitter anymore. And now Twitter has video as well. So they were a little bit asking like, do we need yet another video platform? But LinkedIn also has video. So, let's talk about social media a little bit as well, because one of the ways I want to grow my newsletter is with social media and basically YouTube and LinkedIn. Because my newsletter is going to have lots of curated content, it's going to be at least 5 up to 10 or 15 tools, podcast articles of other creators, YouTube interviews, other tutorials by other creators. Like I could have between 5 and 15 opportunities to connect with the different creators and let them know that they're being featured in my newsletter. And that's going to be one of the ways that I want to kind of, spread the information. I'm not going to do ads. That's just a whole another level. Although I do want to do the Spark Loop and the Boost, feature beehiiv.
Yeah, that's something I want to try out too. When the time,
because it's putting the ads out to people who are already interested in that kind of content, in newsletter.
In that format, basically.
In that format, exactly. So that's going to be a couple of those revenue, not revenue, growth, basically just the subscribership. And that's my number one goal with the newsletter, is to grow it to 10,000 subscribers. I'm not making any revenue goals with it right now, but I will have a way to monetize right from the start. And that's also what I've been researching, that they recommend, have a way to monetize. Like you will have hot interest from people right at the beginning because they love you or they love your content. They want to support you. Give them an opportunity and also see what's interesting. So Zen Business Club is going to be that.
Is that starting on Wednesday too, right away?
Yes, I want to. That's one thing. Even if I have to pull an all-nighter, I'm going to make that happen. because Beehiiv has that subscription. It's going to be my premium content, basically. And Beehiiv makes it really easy to have a upgrade on your newsletter. So I will have the free newsletter, SophiaNotes, and then the subscription is going to be the monetization. And it's
That
going
would
to
be,
start on
yeah,
Wednesday.
sorry. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be something I'd like to talk about, because I'm starting my own club, so to speak, or service, leverage service on Wednesday, which is about ETF model portfolios, where people can access specific ETF names and ticker symbols with weights in different portfolios that have different goals. And what I figured out, that the contents I've figured out, that's not an issue, but what I haven't decided on yet is the platform that I'm using to deliver it. And maybe that will be a topic relevant for you too, for the Zen Business Club. I've so far, I've narrowed it down to basically two options. One would be my website's on Squarespace right now. I'm thinking of moving it to beehiiv, but right now it's on Squarespace, and like selling the product through Stripe, and then delivering the content through a password protected Squarespace page or a members area in Squarespace, versus Gumroad, where like I'm in another one of my businesses, I'm using Gumroad as selling and delivering platform all in one. They have this, basically you can deliver content, make extra pages that are behind that paywall, and it's super easy to use. But of course, Gumroad is more expensive than Stripe for the payment processing. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Which what kind of questions should I ask myself to decide that, in your experience, Sophia?
Yeah, basically, so you have a Squarespace website right now, and you have email marketing as well, ConvertKit, right?
Yeah.
So you're paying for Squarespace, you're paying for ConvertKit, and those two tools are enough if you wanted to sell something, right? If you wanted to sell a product, Squarespace has member areas and the password protected page. It can also do to deliver. So you have everything you need at the moment. However, the question is, do you need VAT sorted out?
No, not for this. For this business, I don't need VAT.
Okay, so
because
Gumroad
I'm
would be
targeting
great.
only the US.
Yeah. So Gumroad would be great if you wanted to have VAT sorted out, if you have clients in Europe, or you are a business in Europe, somebody listening is in Europe, because that just headache removed.
Yeah.
You don't have to take care of VAT, everything is taken care on the back end. In your case, you don't have that need. However, you also do like, you've tried it out and you like Gumroad's, how it's easy to deliver.
It's super easy to set up.
Yeah.
The back end is great. The front end looks kind of funky.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what exactly are you delivering? Like, are you delivering something that needs a hosting platform? Or are you delivering something via email, spreadsheet, documents, video? What are
Yeah,
you?
one way would be a spreadsheet that like a Google spreadsheet, for example, that I give people exclusive access to. I'm also including there's 2 annual training calls that are part of that service. It's an annual subscription. And of course, any updates to those portfolio, which would then be delivered both like in terms of the new full portfolio overview.
And that portfolio overview is a spreadsheet?
It could be a spreadsheet, or it's just a list, an HTML page.
Okay, so it's more like text content.
Yeah, it's text. It doesn't need a spreadsheet. There's another element that I'm giving is a spreadsheet that people can use to calculate the rebalancing things.
Yeah.
But that I can deliver via a link, for example, in the.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily need content hosting like Gumroad. You don't need that, because a spreadsheet could be a Google link. training calls, the Zoom link, or is that recorded? You wanna
No,
have
they
it?
would be live.
Yeah.
And I would make the recordings accessible.
Mm-hmm. So I think in that case, I want to research whether Beehive has something in their VIP subscription.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because I was considering to switch over to Beehive anyways, to be more newsletter centered in my online presence. And then if Beehive has kind of a built-in
Let me explore that and get back to you. I need to
paywall or
check
something,
that
that would
out
be
myself. What is included in the subscription. I know that taking like the transaction itself is made super easy on Beehive. So you can have your free newsletter and you can have the VIP upgrade. And that is all inbuilt inside Beehive. So there's no third-party integrations needed there. So
Yeah.
what Stripe would do for you, you don't need that anymore,
Yeah.
right? In your other example with Stripe and Squarespace. In terms of content delivery, I would say if you're wanting to move to Beehive anyways, Beehive has that website and email combo in their plan, in their launch plan. I believe that's the thing. Things can always change, so don't hold me on this. But on their first tier paid plan, it's included. You can send emails, your newsletters, and you can host your content on a website. So then you don't need anything else. You could let go of Squarespace, ConvertKit, Gumroad. It kind of streamlines your tech stack, essentially.
So maybe we can research that until next time, whether
I'm gonna be
Beehive also
researching
has
it
a paywall
by Wednesday.
feature for HTML delivered content. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can check that.
Yeah. Great.
But it
Good.
does give you many options to streamline.
Yeah.
By moving to Beehive. If they don't have that possibility, then I would say stick with Gumroad and Beehive. Then you have Beehive for your website and email, and you have Gumroad for your course delivery or content delivery.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And by the way, we never introduced ourselves. I'm Sophia.
And
This
I'm
is
Christoph.
my husband, Christoph. And you
Yeah,
are...
I'm just Sophia's husband. That's good enough.
That's your identity. But you want to tell people what you do?
Sure. I have my own firm that is a registered investment advisor, which means I build portfolios for individuals, families, organizations, investment portfolios, usually out of ETFs, in order to grow their capital, in order to produce income for them, investment income, portfolio income. Basically that's what I do. And I started that, I started my own firm. I started doing that like kind of 20 years ago, but now I have my own firm. Bam.
Yeah.
Registered in North Carolina, Pine Ridge Wealth. Yoo-hoo.
And your newsletter is called what?
My newsletter is called ETF Nerd.
And
Because
what's your link?
etfnerd.com.
All right, cool. And I'm Sophia Oja. Actually, I just want to be Sophia. I don't want to have any last names. It's just so cumbersome. I'm Sophia, and I run SophiaNotes.com, a newsletter that...
And Sophia with PH.
With the PH, yes. You need to have pH balance. SophiaNotes.com, the newsletter is weekly. It's free, and it's for helping people build their side hustle or online business to grow it while keeping peace of mind and building towards financial freedom.
Bravo.
Yeah, let's do this again next week. Thank you for being my sounding board, Christoph.
Yeah, and thank you, Sophia. That's great.
Yes.
It's
And
always good to talk things out, because that way we don't get stuck in our heads, and it's easier
yeah,
to wrap our head around things and then make decisions,
yeah.
go forward. So thank you.
And I wonder if this would be interesting for people to join live. I was
Put it
thinking
in the
that
comments. What do you
could be,
think?
yeah, this could be something people can get access. Like if you want to be on the Zoom call and talk with us and, ask questions about your own thing, want us to be your sounding board, that's something I could add in the Zen Business Club membership as a feature.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Idea.
So
Thank you so much. Put in the comments what you think, how you like this format.
click like, click subscribe. Yoo-hoo.
You. All right. So my life, my wife and I.
Ride or die.
Da da da.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye for now. Oh,
Tschüss.
adios.